They become so kind, like your mother. Imagine you are sick and look at the response from your mother. So loving, so caring, embracing. It's exactly what all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas look like towards you. I reinforce your two kind parents, all the family members, including your children, and all the other sentient beings of Israel, of the planet Earth, and the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe. The human beings, the insects, the animals, the hungry ghosts, the hell beings, the gods and goddesses, and all the sentient beings. And you are like your mother, and all others are like your children. Imagine they're so sick, and your love just spreads, envelops them with embrace. And the purpose of our practice is to say no, is to combat the self-centered attitude by cultivating the unconditional love of bodhicitta. With that in mind, of the four immeasurables, due to the constraint of time, we'll do the first two, immeasurable loving kindness. Just try to follow the instructions and evoke the respective experiences to the best you can. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Cause of happiness, primarily the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are so happy to see that you're making courageous commitment, like the way the eldest child, after seeing the mother taking care of the children for all these many years, now the eldest daughter or the eldest son comes to the mother, "Mother, please take rest. I'm already grown up. I'll take care of all my siblings." And the mother could not believe her ears. She's so happy, overjoyed. This is exactly what has happened to all Bodhisattvas, seeing that you make such a courageous commitment. And the acute joy and the happiness the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke the compassion mind of enlightenment, invoke their wisdom and the compassion to multiply, to send forth nectars, very soothing lights towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with the bodies of the sentient beings, all the sentient beings of yourself, instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness within sentient beings of yourself. And you're witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of the sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing the making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy. This happy pride invoke the compassion and the omniscient mind to send forth nectars and very soothing lights towards you, the ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings of yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries, primary self-grasping, the self-centered attitude from the minds of sentient beings to yourself. And you witnessing such a miraculous happening close to you and all different sentient beings, you're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths out with relief. Underscoring all the four immeasurables is the unconditional love towards all human sentient beings. With palms pressed together, with folded hands, let us all make this bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Stay in this most beautiful mind in this universe. Should there be a mind which is beautiful and appealing, this is the mind, the bodhicitta. This is the most beautiful mind you can imagine possibly existing in this universe. And today, you've generated this. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting at heart. It's amazing that we made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all different sentient beings, but how do you know that you can become Buddha for all this innumerable times, since time immemorial, since beginner's time? You never become Buddha. Now today, how can you know that you can become a Buddha? No point squeezing a handful of sand. However much you may squeeze, no oil will come out. And how can you say that Buddhahood will come out of you? Of course, I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds. I have the seed of Buddhahood within me, the Buddha nature, proliferating Buddha nature, and the natural Buddha nature, the Dharmadhatu is within me. But why not? It is awakened till now. Yes, that's true. It's all because till now I've been befriending, I've been thinking of the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, these two as my best friends. And over these last 3 days, from this I come to discover I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. They are no more my friends, they are my demons. They're the demons. I'm not going to be friends with them anymore. I'm going to exterminate the 2. How going to exterminate self-grasping ignorance? Yes. By introducing counterforce. What is counterforce? The wisdom of emptiness. Let us quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness which you meditated earlier. How you are the person who you love so much, that person which seems to be so objectively real there because of self-grasping ignorance, yet you see this person nothing but 6 elements. What do you see now? I'm just seeing the 6 elements of that person. And the earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Where is this person? This person is not there, it's empty, it's not there. Stay in this experience. In some cases, there could be a tinge of a fear arising in you. In some cases, a tinge of bliss, a tinge of a tranquility. Goosebumps can come into you. Should any of these signs appear, you are very fortunate. If not, don't worry. Just continue doing this practice, eventually they'll happen to you. Okay, slowly transform this wisdom of emptiness, which sees that the person is empty there when subject to ultimate analysis. Slowly transform this wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean white vajra, thumb-sized white vajra, like thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk at the heart. Amazing. This moon disk is a conventional bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha by cherishing others more than yourself. And Vajra symbolizes the ultimate bodhicitta, which is the wisdom of emptiness. With wisdom of emptiness, which has the capacity to get rid of all the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. Afflictive obscurations consisting of the self-grasping ignorance. It's amazing. Now that this guarantees that you're going to be freed from all the fears, then you're going to have the maximum happiness and rather than Buddhahood. But what about all the dear sentient beings? That's true. Just tremendous, incredible compassion. Because of incredible compassion generated now towards all dear sentient beings, this incredible compassion invokes the Vajramuni in the heart to multiply infinite number of times. And share one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of your father, one set with each one of your children, each one of your family members, one with each one of the sentient beings here in this kibbutz, one with each one of the sentient beings here in this world, in this Milky Way galaxy, and then in the entire universe. Now all sentient beings have the Vajramuni. It's amazing. This is the greatest gift you can possibly think of giving to your mother sentient beings, and today you did it. Let's not forget that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. Why not we invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness to our taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow? So as a gesture of inviting them to be the witness to the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, along with all the other sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 persuasions to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, if possible, sit on your right knees. Those who have no problem with those who have no knee problem, you sit on your right knees, and those who have problems, sit very comfortably, whichever position is more comfortable. Because that it may take little time in the process of sitting on the right knees. Should you start feeling the pain, then make sure that you take a comfortable position. Because finally, the thought process is thinking. That is precious, more important than the gesture. So this physical gesture is like, say, the impetus for us. Impetus to boost this, give us a strength, give us some kind of the vitality in taking this aspiration Bodhisattva vow. Okay, let us turn to page 42. Okay, page 42. You see the last 3 stanzas there. The first of the 3 stanzas. We'll read this 3 times. So this is preparing us to the ceremony. And the ceremony, as I told you earlier, so this is taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow, not the proper Bodhisattva vow. The proper Bodhisattva vow, either we say Bodhisattva vow, or it is also referred to as the engaged Bodhisattva vow too. So here what we're doing is the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. Aspiration Bodhisattva vow, there's no special commitment there. It's very simple, and as I warned you already, that don't be so keen on taking the empowerment vows and so forth. So this is something very special, which does not have any the vow, what do you call it, the pledge or the commitment as such. So the maximum the commitment is that from today onwards, I will do the best I can. I'll be kind towards others. If not, at least I will not harm others. this much if you can commit is good enough. Okay, so in the process, of course, sitting on the right knees is not easy. If you feel painful, then you slowly move to a position whichever is more comfortable. This is so important. Your thinking must not be disrupted. Okay, so the first stanza, I'm going to explain this. It reads, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem, which means that because that what I'm doing is a very noble task, which I cannot really imagine that I, who is just an ordinary person, is getting the opportunity to do this, because it's a very noble journey. Gade, para sambade borse. This is an incredible noble journey. So therefore, I need a support, a very strong support. Greatest of the support is the three jewels. So first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem as the support. Then this journey of becoming Buddha, this journey, involves the path, the road. The road must be clear. The road must be clear of if the road is blocked by the boulders, trees and so forth, you cannot go, you cannot undertake the journey. So road must be clear. This road of the enlightenment is none other than your own mind. Your mind must be removed must be freed of the blockages of the trees, boulders, of the afflictions, of the mental defilements, afflictive obscurations, cognitive obscurations. So the best way by which to do so is by confessing the negativities, by confessing your mental defilements. So the second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Once the road is clear, then the car should have enough fuel to move. Even if the road is very clear, but if the car does not have the energy, it cannot move towards the intended destination. So this car is none other than your own mind. Your mind is a vehicle. Your mind should travel. So your mind must have the fuel of the merit. The best way by which they accumulate the enormous merit is by rejoicing in the virtues of others, rejoicing in the merits of others. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. And then now the road is very clear, your car has enough fuel, where are you going to go? I'm going to go to the Buddhahood. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. So this is what prepares us. Actually, so you can take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow just on the basis of this stanza. So, but what we're doing here is we're using this as a preliminary, and the next two stanzas as the actual ceremony. Let's hardly say this together, visualizing all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are there, and your two parents and your children and all sentient beings around you, they are taking part in the ceremony because of you having orchestrated, you having inspired them. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next two stanzas are the ceremony. Actual ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. First, by invoking the Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. This is how we invoke them. And then with all the other sentient beings, you say the two stanzas. I'll quickly explain the two stanzas. The first stanza is pertaining to the Buddhas, the beings who already became Buddha, like Buddha Shakyamuni. And the second stanza is pertaining to yourself. So the first stanza, the Buddha, how this Prince Siddhartha, this young prince, how he became such an enlightened being today, and that he's able to benefit millions and millions and millions of sentient beings. Just by one person becoming enlightened is able to benefit millions of beings. How come that he's able to do that? So he's able to do that for two reasons. The first, he generated a very strong motivational bodhicitta, number one. Number two, to fulfill the aspiration, to materialize the aspiration of this bodhicitta, he actually engaged in the bodhisattva practices, bodhisattva conducts, like the 6 perfections, 4 perfections, making 10 perfections. Perfection, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, samadhi, meditative concentration, skillfulness, aspirational prayers, then the power and the discriminative wisdom, the 10 perfections. So it is through this that now he became enlightened and now benefiting. He himself experienced total fearlessness and experienced infinite happiness, meanwhile benefit all other sentient beings. Wow, if this is how he's able to do that, I will follow his steps. The second stanza reads, I will also the generate bodhicitta, to materialize aspiration of bodhicitta, I will also engage in the bodhisattva practices. And during the third repetition, when you say the last two lines, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices, imagine that you receive the aspiration of bodhisattva vow, and then feel the tremendous joy. Okay, let's say this together. The bodhisattva is watching us, and all the places beings are joining you. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelled in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively train in the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in the bodhisattva practices. Okay, just feel the joy of having received that spirit bodhisattva vow. You're very fortunate, extremely fortunate, and what you have done, like the mother, after all these many years of getting complaints from the school over the daughter, over her son, that your son is very mischievous, your daughter very mischievous, and then today the school principal is coming to the mother, and the mother again becoming apprehensive, and this time it's slightly different. The principal is very courteous, so gentle, smiling, and the mother could not believe the very different demeanor of the principal today. And the principal said, the mother said, what's the problem now? The principal said, no, your daughter and your son, two of them are appointed as the best selected as the best students of the school for this year. You could not believe this. So this is exactly what we have done today. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, from all these innumerable lifetimes, we've only brought embarrassment and sadness to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And today what we did brought such a joy and pride in the minds of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So with this pride and the joy the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel, imagine that the Vajra moon at their hearts, full-fledged Vajra moon at the hearts, to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower in mirage, all this Vajra moon from the replicas of Vajra moon from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, tremendous love and joy, happiness, warmth, compassion, they all descend like rain shower to descend to merge with the one that visualize at your heart. They by blessing it become non-dual and stabilized. Auto Vajra moon at your heart, true bodhicittas. Likewise, in mirage, like rain shower, all these Vajra moon from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas descend to merge with the one that visualize at the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, your family members, each one of the beings, animals, insects, human beings, the spirits, gods, goddesses here in the kibbutz, in Israel, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and then in the entire universe. Everyone is now able to Vajra moon, the Vajra moon blessed by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So fortunate. This is, if you can imagine, one gift which is the greatest. This is the one, Vajra moon, the true bodhicittas. And this is what you've gifted to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to all the demon sentient beings. And if there is one offering that you can make to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which will make them the happiest, it is the rendering of this Vajra moon to bodhicittas, to sentient beings. And today you did it. It's amazing. So this is all happening because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them, again, along with all demon sentient beings, let us slowly get up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as a gesture of thanking them. Okay, please take your seats. Please take your seats. Sit comfortably now. Page 43. Page 43. In the middle, there's a stanza which reads, "Throughout my future lifetimes." Okay, we're going to say this 3 times. This stanza is primarily to, okay, in this life, we met with the bodhicitta, we met with the wisdom of emptiness, but next life, how to, okay, and in this life, because of this situation that we are in the future also, we can do it on our own. Then we can attend the teachings of His Holiness, and when His Holiness is giving teaching in the Dharamsala, even if you cannot go there in person, nowadays because of technology, you can take the aspiration Bodhisattva vows with His Holiness there through the internet. It's all really possible. But what about next life? On this earth, there are 7 billion human beings on this earth. You won't believe. There are 7 billion human beings. And how many of them, just imagine how many of them heard this word, bodhicitta. How many of them heard the wisdom of emptiness? Forget about studying and practicing. How many of them even heard? So less. It's not that they are the less. They are those minimum, like the 99% of the human beings on this earth. Today have not heard this word bodhicitta, have not heard the wisdom of emptiness. 99% guaranteed. And it's not that they are less intelligent, we are more intelligent. No. They are brilliant, who can become the Nobel laureates. They are there. But it's a matter of the karmic connection. So therefore, in next life, what guarantees us that we are going to meet with this, the dharma of the bodhicittas? What guarantees? For that matter, in this life we are fortunate. Now to make the next life that also happens, we have to do it in 2 ways. 1, to meet, then number 2, to become active. 2, right? Meet and become active. So oftentimes what happens is some people who are born as Tibetans, they meet, they're not active. You getting it? It doesn't mean that, oh, somebody is born as a Tibetan, oh, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, related to His Holiness Dalai Lama, so they must be very interested in Dharma. No, right? There are many, there are brilliant ones, very good ones, but it's not that everybody is like this. Don't forget it, right? They're connected, but they don't feel the weight and the value. So, first we have to meet. Meeting happens because of the very powerful prayers, very powerful aspirations. And once met, once connected, then becoming active. Becoming active, that is because of the concomitant cause. Concomitant cause, very brilliant mango means very brilliant mango seed, right? Wild mango means wild seed. So likewise, it depends on seed. Seed is determined by today what we're doing. That determines, okay, you are connected and you don't really take interest in this. You are implanting a seed of no interest. Whereas we do these very actively, study, value this. The moment somebody talks about bodhicitta, just feel the connection. Try to connect it. Thereby you are implanting the seed of vibrancy, vitality of the bodhicitta. So next life, you just feel like crying, as to like you're meeting your mother after like 10